Is it important to control the open file in the middle game? It is very important because this is how you gain access to attacking your opponent on the 7th rank or 2nd rank. And you're claiming power, you're claiming the control to moving your pieces up and down that particular column. So now let's have a look and exemplify with a few very clear situations. You can see that both colors here, both rooks, actually are on the C file. And now the question would be for white, how can you claim the C file for yourself? Because currently now both colors are disputing it, having a heavy piece, namely the rooks. Well, there is one little detail that white can just employ here, and that is bishop to h3. Bishop to h3 attacks the c8. Okay, so black needs to do something with that rook, otherwise you lose it. We all know that the rook is more powerful than the bishop, so the rook has to go. And they either concede them playing something very badly like rook b8, rook a8, where they were anyway, or they just take you on the c. They start to exchange, they start to trading. And now you're going to take with the other rook, and now you have won the c file. It is yours. They can't move, say, rook to c8 because you've got a bishop. The bishop incredibly acting, taking the c file now for white, together with the rook on c1. And look at the difference in between the bishop on h3 and the bishop on g7. The bishop on g7, it's what we may call it a bad bishop. This is what a bad bishop looks like, ladies and gents. This bishop on g7 simply hits its own pawns and just doesn't have any sort of future. All right, so they need to engineer, but we're not going to get into the subtleties now because we're not going to finish anytime soon. They need to engineer all sorts of things in order to activate that bishop, but that will take a while, and white is not just going to sit and wait. Okay, so I just drew a few arrows to giving you guys the insights necessary to understanding bad bishop, good bishop. We're not going to discuss about the bad bishop, good bishop here, but just about the open file. But I just feel the need to adding more information because that really helps our friends to learn and understand more and more. Now, again, as in the previous example, both white and black are amassing power attacking on the C file, claiming everyone tries to get the control over to the C file. Now you can notice there is a battery with the two white rooks targeting the C7 in particular, and the knight on C6 is what we call a pinned piece. It can't move because the rook on c7 will be taken straight away. Now, and now you may say, well, can't we just start taking on c6? Well, you can, but it's not a big deal because if you start taking now, already black is defending it once, twice, three times, and they're going to get a fourth defender for that one. But luckily for you, knight on c6 is pinned. We only need to making that knight move away so you can win the material. And what I love about this position, this is from a real game Alekhine Nimzovich played in 1930. That means in the first half of the 20th century. So, and now we're going to do the famous Alekhine's gun. If you never seen it, it is time for you guys to getting familiar with this. Rook to c3, and you may say, this is uneventful. What does that even do? You are slowly making space for another for the fourth attacker on the c6, and you making rook c3 space for the other rook to move, as we are going to see very soon. My chess friends, rook to c2, king tries to move closer. Really, what else can you possibly play here? Queen to c. Looking at this, guys, this is the Alekhine's gun, and now you've got four attackers on the knight. Nimzovich now plays rook to c8, rook b8 to c8 desperately, and now it's not over. Obviously, if you're taking on c6, not a big deal. Bishop takes, knight takes here, and you didn't do nothing. They defend three times, you attack three times. Nothing's going to happen. But if you make the black knight move away, c7 is going to disappear. So now he plays a very elegant, simple but very efficient move. Bishop to a4. Why? Because he wants to push to b5, and you either give me the black knight or you move the knight and I'll take your rook. Which one is it? It's very bad in both situations. So Alekhine went on to winning this position, this game against Nimzovich in 1930, my chess friends. So b5 doesn't do really nothing. because bishop takes it and they're just going to play back on a4. I'm pushing b5 and still inexorable. You cannot stop this b4 to b5 from happening. Okay, let's have a look at this position. Now, opposite side castling, this is the target for black. Okay, and now you've got your beautiful black rooks, one on the h, the other one on the g file. What do you do here? Well, because you got two rooks, you need to making them active, attacking, threatening. And there are pawns that are blocking your rook. So even if you give up on some material, namely pawns here, you do it. Okay, I know that white attacks it like a billion times, which is once, twice, three times, four times, and you're only defending it three. But the result is crushing, because as soon as that pawns disappear, even if the knight takes, obviously you're not going to just lose the black queen now because knight attacks it. You're going to play queen to h5, and this is already a killer of a move here, because you got the biggest threat ever. You got a checkmate coming on h1, queen to h1. Due to the battery, you've just cleared the way. You just made those pawns disappearing. And I'm mentioning there is, of course, the knight being attacked, but most importantly, checkmate is completely winning here for black, my friends. So, okay, they may try some funny stuff, but that doesn't help, because look at the pin. There is another pin, because you've cleared the way for the rooks now. Pawn on g2 is pinned. Therefore, this guy on h3 will be captured. And materially, from a material point of view, from a positional point of view, because again, you are threatening checkmate on the next turn, black's winning. As simple as that. Another exercise here for us to further understand the importance of the open file. What do you think white should do here? Hold your horses, don't start the trading yet, because you're not going to be achieving anything if rook takes, rook takes, rook takes, bishop or queen takes, or knight takes. You're not going to do nothing. You're only going to be trading material. Now, we want a bit more than just to trade rooks here. We want to claim the c file. Remember, that's going to happen very often. Okay, if you're playing this kind of queen's gambit and the c file always gets open, you're going to be finding yourselves in this position. Always remember this guy here. Of course, it's a great asset here, the bishop, and yeah, there could be some other idea, bishop b1, maybe queen d3, but it's not easy. They're going to be stopping you. So why not investigate something a bit more direct now, which is bishop to a6. Why? You forcing black to take your guy, and then you're going to take it, either rook or queen, and obviously the c file belongs to you. This is great, because bishop here really stops them from moving the rook. And given a chance, you might be even able to play some queen to c7, some knight to e5, and you're going to be attacking more and more, targeting their weaknesses on the 7th rank. And that knight on e5, it's a splendor. Absolutely splendor. Let's go for the next scenario, guys. What do we do here? We can definitely claim the d file forever. Now, by just, well, forever. There's nothing forever, but let's just put it this way. You're gonna take yourselves, guys, the d file, because as soon as you push the pawn, notice that the knight can't move here. The knight plays on the 7th. You're gonna take it because you're already dominating, and that's assert your complete dominance over the d file. And if the knight goes here, you're just gonna play queen to c2, and that guy is pretty much trapped. That's goodbye as it is. And it just does great, because if knight goes back, this is just awful. You are going to be playing very likely some queen over to the 7th rank, and you're going to take that 7th rank with the weaknesses being targeted, as you can see in our position here. Another exercise here. What do you think we should be doing? You remember, guys, that type of Alekhine's gun with two rooks and then the queen behind them, dominating the open file? You've got it. Because now you're amassing enormous power, and you've already challenged white seriously. You're attacking 3 times the e1 square. And if they take, you're going to take back, and practically you're going to threatening to moving rook again back on the e1. And white is simply in a very, very bad position here. You're doing incredibly well, threatening a lot of things here. Okay, what do you think we could do here? I love this kind of tactics. I absolutely love them. I absolutely love them. Now, notice that the bishop on g7, probably in this position, black fought. Whoever played with the black pieces fought. Look, my bishop on g7 doesn't do a great deal. Why don't we just get the bishop on h6 and try to, at least attack something? That's what black fought. But what black missed here, guys, is that you're going to play something with tempo. You're going to play something like queen to h3. Why? That means two major things. First thing first, you're threatening to take a bishop here. So this is just something very serious. So they got to move that guy. I don't know. They have to deal with that. They got to move that bishop. And when they move the bishop to safety, you probably notice, guys, the control that you're having for the d7 incredibly important square, which would attack, obviously, the queen and the bishop on b7. And you're doing incredibly well from a positional point of view here. So the bishop went back where it was incredibly painful for black, because following the rook to d7, they've got to move the queen. And when they move the queen, the b7 is a goner. That's it. You have just won material, and that means you've just simply won the game. They should be resigning, by the way. If they don't just play normal chess, you're going to be winning here. Okay, this position here, what do we do? Just keep it nice, simple, and efficient. Don't try craziness. You don't have to play crazy chess to forcing things, because you have a very clear, simple way to be winning. If you ask yourselves now, how do I get my queen to checkmate the white king? If I could drop the queen now for b8 somewhere, where would that be? What square would that be? And you guys would be understanding, actually, if my queen was on h2, I would checkmate my opponent's king. So how do you get there? You need to look for the quickest tactical way to put the queen on h2 so that you can deliver checkmate. How do you get there? Well, let's see. There is a pawn on g3, so probably I can't just try anything on this diagonal, but maybe I can go yeah, of course, g8. You got it right, guys. G8 and h7, and that's it. That's it. You're going to play queen to g8. This is unstoppable, and they've got a problem. Whatever pawn they try to move or anything, it's going to be weakening furthermore the white's king's position. So I hope, guys, this was instructive. This was helpful. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, my chess friends, and join me on my live stream, and let's just discuss this beautiful chess ideas together. Thank you very much for watching the video, my chess friends, and I will see you soon.